Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this series of Boomeadow builds after such a long time. It has been, easily 6 months since I have done something like this, but I decided to get started on a new project, potentially the launch of a new game in the nearish future. And so I wanted to get in here and alter my maps and things like that to reflect that. We are starting with the base of my original world of Avani, in which, in the third age of my world, was beset by eldritch horrors as the Titan King wanted to break free of his infernal prison in Tartarus. However, we are moving to it's kind of a parallel material plane that overlaps over the prime material. So as you can see, we've done a little bit of an upgrade on the map since probably the last time you've seen it. And basically we're going to come in here, we're going to populate it with towns and whatnot. It is set, this is Feyawyr, it is once known as the Feyawyr, but in the merging of the three planes of existence as the Necronomicon came towards its peak, it eventually throughout time became known as Feyawyr, as humans and other races that lived on the material plane started to make their way through, escaping the tyranny of the witch queens that took over the prime material. It is a higher technology, lower magic setting. After centuries of aetheric mining of the world tree have occurred, which is how the witch queens were able to rise to power. So, using this as a base of the world, there will eventually be a giant tree in the middle. As you can see, I've got the shadows of it here, so I can have a bit of an idea about what I'm building around. But this giant tree in the middle, the world tree, has settlements around it, but also it has a prison underneath it, chaining Nidhauger, a serpent that gnaws at its roots beneath it. So, we'll just dive in. If you want to chat, feel free to chat. I will endeavour to respond as much as possible. And if you like what I do, feel free to follow. We are hopefully getting to a point where we'll get followers, subscribers, that kind of thing. I do stream 5 days a week. 2 days a week of, at the moment, Garden Story, 2 days a week of Little Witch in the Woods, and then Wednesdays is going to be Boomeadow builds, at least for the coming future. So, with that, let's get started and dive in. These things here you'll see are set territory lines, as each of these territories will be watched over by a Fey Queen or Fey Lord, dependent. We are running with a standard setting, north, south, east, west for each of the seasons. Yeah. So this is going to be the Winter Court, which will be predominantly earth-based. The west will be the Autumn Court, obviously, which will pertain a lot to water and things like that. And then, obviously, in the middle we will have essentially the in-between transitional space, which will be kind of the oozing kind of wastes, which is essentially just a nice way of saying mud. Now, I want to do some terraforming because it is slightly different to its prime material plane. And obviously, I've left lots of little holes here. Eventually these red lines will be removed. This won't be known as Good News Bay either. I think I actually want to I don't think I want to do that all the way up to there. I think I just want to remove this river here. I don't think I want to remove all of that. Main island, yes. I'm happy to keep a few of those little islands, I think. Excuse me. I like coming in and so for my map building I use Incarnate. They are uploading new things every day, although I am in the process of hand customizing some assets for a more kind of a sci-fi futuristic, because this game will be set a little bit more into the future, a bit more of a, I don't really want to say spacey cyberpunky feel, but it is going to be definitely technologically advanced. Now this river is somewhat significant. This will be part of the Starry Eridanos, which is a deep river that travels through down into the underworld and is tied to the goddess of magic in my world, who is one of the elder proto-deities of the world, who has basically been around since the beginning of time and has been through many situations of interest. In the first era of the world, where they are essentially the head gods at the time, there is a number of them who are the head gods that are still eldritch beings. There was the Titan War that was caused before the creation of the world. And in doing so, the perpetrators of the Titan War, which were some entities that basically they believed it was time, very similar to a little bit kind of a Zeus, Kronos, that kind of thing. But the goddess of chaos at the time, the goddess of undoing, I suppose, had decided that it was time for her twin brother to finally overtake the role of the god of creation, the god of matter, I suppose. But obviously the god of matter was not ready to step down, and so her brother, who became known as the Titan King, was amassed an army and tried to overthrow them, and obviously they lost, which led to the creation of the Necronomicon in my world, as a source book that for one day would give him the opportunity to return, as was the deal he had made with the goddess of magic. However, in the third era of the world, the heroes of the adventure got the opportunity to stop the rise of the Titan King. But it did lead down a path of potential madness, as every eldritch entity that was a supporter of this Titan King had to be summoned before the Titan King himself. And so it was an adventure of basically summoning the things and then stopping them as they were resurrected. Eventually I'd like to plan through and hopefully create a source book of the world, of book of adventures, or several books of adventures pertaining to my world lore, and if anyone would ever be interested in playing in my world setting. That is the eventual plan, but as we like to know, time is a contributing factor of time, work, procrastination, a few things of the like, basically. Yes, this waterway has now become known as the pond in the Feywild, or Feyawyr, as it became known. Even in my iteration of the world, it was never really called the Feywild or the Shadowfell. It was always Alfarheim and I believe Svartalfarheim, so Dark Elf Home and Light Elf Home respectively. My problem is I get to rename things now, and I don't know what I want to call them. Decisions. You know what? I'll come down to it in a minute. You'll hear the sound of my dog in the background, shaking his collar. Here's a whippet, and here's the world's biggest sook. terraform some of these islands. Fill in some of these small gaps of water and whatnot. And try to do it in a way that doesn't look ugly, but also organic. Okay. Okay, so this territory up here, which we will change the opacity of this. Like so. Remember to save your work. Feel like, looking at my original map for this might be a territory down here. Go. Might need to up the opacity just a little bit for this area, or put it up a layer. I like that more up here, I think. Might need to name this one on the other side of the map. This will take a hot second to load all the assets. But it's always nice. It's a good way to see whatever new assets that they've brought in. Which will obviously be handy when I build battle maps eventually. Maybe. Hopefully. In creating the Necronomicon, I've got a lot of hand-drawn artwork for that as well. Oh, the elven ones are nice. That'll definitely come in handy when we're building town maps. Glowy Ghost Town is always cool. Oh, I like these new frames that they've brought in. Temple. See, I love some of these isometric ones too, but I don't usually build my towns like that because it requires a lot more forethought than I end up putting into it. Oh, some of these terrain things are cool. The heraldry is awesome. What I'm looking for... I've always done this as towns. It's more like it. I just think I like the contrast of the black a little more. question is how big to make the town names. I want you to be able to read them. Like so, I think. I'll do the main places that are that humans may have settled. Now, around about there are portals here that you can traverse through. The problem is, to jump you need to have magic, and magic in this world is in limited supply. So maybe set this as Fey settlements. Now comes the part of coming up with some elfy names. Elf names, fey names. More fey names for towns, I think. have a quick look. That's what happened to that one. Can't avoid this one, I don't think. Alright. We'll start with lightwood. Now, there is also in the mountains here a very interesting place known as the Ibrarana Library, which is a multi-planar, multi-dimensional library. It transcends time and space. Which, if I can get this mountain and put it up, so the Ibrarana is somewhat hidden in behind it. That would be nice. go down a little bit. Unless we go the other way. I'm open to opinions on what is easier to read, obviously. So yes, the question is, white fill with a black outline or black fill with white outline? I wonder if the font, changing the font. Well, I'm open to anyone's opinion. I'll leave it for now and I'll ask. We'll start spawning in some trees, I should think. I feel like I should add some little villages in as well. But again, I might get some opinions of some of my friends, of which I do play various games with people. I am on the Twitch stream of a creator on here called Evil One on Sunday nights. We stream a Star Wars role-play game. I play a Jawa on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. If you are interested, me and a bunch of friends get together and just do crazy space shenanigans set in the Star Wars world, obviously. In addition to that, I will be coming to. I will also be on Evil One stream on coming very shortly within the next month or so for a Vampire the Masquerade, which will be on Thursday night. Hello, Evil One. How fortuitous! I am just talking about you and your streams. I'm spruiking the Star Wars stream and the upcoming Vampire the Masquerade. But for anyone who is watching this in not live, definitely check out Evil One stream. We stream games on there. We stream role-playing games. And he has lots of exciting projects in the works. I was just asking the question about should I do so these are different fonts. Should I do the white outline with the black fill or the white fill with the black outline? This one has to be a little bigger. So I am open to opinions. Yeah, see, that's the problem. It becomes very difficult. This is to the northwest. So this is essentially the mud part of the realm of Feyawyr. And directly to the right of this will end up being the more winter-based, winter earth-based. And to the south of it is the more westerly water autumn-based territories. You miss the option of getting to name another town, even though I've said that I will never let you name another town in one of my worlds after the last time I let you do such a thing. Note to all DMs, be careful about who you let name things in your world. But in honor of you, I did invent Mudbutt. So yes, unfortunately, I don't feel, because I keep these streams for a general audience, I don't think I can share the story of the name that Evil One did grace this world with, because it's not exactly family friendly. Nope. The question is, how many trees do I want? I feel like I need to put a lot more, because this is the Feywild, there's going to be a lot more like little settlements that I haven't put in yet, but I think I want to wait and get some opinions about some names that I want to name things. Have a little bit more of a look into what Fae would live in different locations and whatnot. That trees. I don't like you there. Take you out of the river. I think I need to alter the spread of the ice and snow as well. Like, it's fine that it's all up north here, but I think, well, first of all, I think I should save my work. Just like everything, save constantly in case things crash. Definitely a good idea. know what? I think I will do that. Definitely bring this over a bit more snow. The problem is finding something that's a bit more autumnal without going full. This moment of letting all the assets load in. What would be a good autumnal kind of texture? Oh, I don't feel desert textures are quite right. Oh, I might use a bit of you though. Too strong. Need to change the opacity on that. If you're liking the Music Evil one, this is Lo-Fi Girl, as the stream name would suggest. Going something straight up orange, I think, would be a mistake. But we do, I think I do want orangey hints. Might go some mixed grass and change some of the filter on it, maybe. Don't want too verdant green. A bit more like that, maybe? Might add some... Might use this, and then we might add some... maybe leafy, grassy textures. Go like this. The question is, should I add a little bit more, like of a darker orange too? Mix it up. Because there is some green in autumn, but see, I don't think I want to go something like that. That's a bit too much. It's a little too much, yes. Like this maybe. The question is, how big are you going to look? I might want to bring the size down so it's not so big. That's a bit better, and then I can start overlaying a little bit of snow on those edges where they overlap. Ah yes, Incarnate telling me that I need to save my work after a certain amount of time, which is appreciated. Take some of this snowy kind of texture. Have it sprinkling over. Like so. Now the other thing is just a little bit. Where is our ice texture? It's here. We might, just around some of these wintry places. As you can see, there is a little bit of texture there in the water. We'll just add a little bit more, I think, to these wintry locations. Add a bit of ice in the water. One's a little bit too much, I think. Okay. And with that, this is where we're going to wrap up this session. We'll come back next week to continue on with the northwest of Feyawyr and continue to build on this as we go on throughout the weeks. Now that I've got a bit more of an idea, hopefully it'll be a bit quicker, but as I said, I'm planning to stream these once a week, every Wednesday for about an hour at around this time. So if you want to join us, if you want to have a chat, it would be absolutely wonderful to see you here. And yeah, I will see you all again next week. Have fun, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.